Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'll be breaking down the MLB slate for Friday, April 7th. We've got a 10-game main slate on for today. And sorry for no video yesterday, guys. Just got a little busy and I wasn't keeping track of time, so sorry for that. But we're back today breaking down Friday's 10-game main slate. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so starting off at pitcher, I'm going ahead and tell you guys that pitcher is pretty gross on this slate. Your most expensive pitcher on the main slate is Francisco Liriano, which just tells you there really isn't very many aces on this slate. So you're definitely going to have a good chance to pay up for some good bats today. I'm going to try and give you some of the pitchers that I like. There aren't many. I'm only looking at about 3 or 4 that I really like. But starting off, I do like Francisco Liriano going up against the Rays. The Rays aren't that good of a hitting team, and this is going to be played in Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay's ballpark does favor pitchers. Not very many home runs are hit in Tampa Bay. I definitely like Liriano in this matchup. The Rays do strike out a lot as well. I definitely think Liriano is probably going to be the chalk cash game pitcher on this slate. And going up against the Rays, I definitely think he has a very good chance to get a win today. So I think Liriano is probably going to be the pitcher that you want to pay up for today. Even at 8,900, I feel like he's the best option. Going up against the Rays, he does have a good strikeout potential. The Rays do strike out a lot, so I do like Liriano today, even at 8,900. I think he's worth paying up for on the slate. A couple other pitchers that I like. I do like Wei-Yin Chen going up against the Mets. The Mets do struggle against lefties, so I definitely think you can also pay up for Chen on this slate. And the Mets ballpark does favor pitchers. Not many home runs are hit there in New York, so I do like Wei-Yin Chen on the slate, even at 8,200. Last year in one game against the Mets, he did pitch pretty well, had 25 DraftKings points. With $8,200 price tag, you're going to need about 20 to 25 DK points for him to be worth that play. And I definitely think he can do that in this matchup. Like I said, the Mets do struggle against lefties. So I definitely like Wei-Yin Chen if you want to pay up. I also like him. I definitely think he is in play. And for $200 less, I also do like Zack Wheeler going up against Miami. Wheeler is going to be starting in place of Steven Matz. I was reading this little paragraph here that RotoWire supplied. And supposedly Wheeler is supposed to be a really good pitcher. He did pitch very well in spring training. So I definitely like him at 8K. The Marlins do struggle against righties. So I definitely think he is worth paying up for as well. Him and Liriano are probably going to be the two pitchers that I target on the slate. Playing at home, I really like him. I definitely think he has a good chance to get a win today against the Marlins. The Marlins aren't that good of a hitting team. So I definitely like paying up for Wheeler. If you're going to pay up, those are the 3 pitchers that I like. I like Liriano, I like Wei-Yin Chen, and I like Zack Wheeler. And there's one pitcher on the cheap end that I like. I do like Mike Leake today going up against Cincinnati. Leake is playing at home. I definitely think the Cardinals have a very good chance to get a win today for Leake. So that's always a bonus anytime a cheap pitcher has a chance to get a win. The Cardinals are one of the biggest favorites on this slate. And I definitely like him playing at home. The Reds are going to be traveling away from Great American Ballpark. So this is a big downgrade for them in parks. Not many home runs are hit there in St. Louis. I definitely like Mike Leake on the slate if you need a value pitcher. Just 6,800. You're only going to need about 20 DraftKings points for him to return value. And I like him to do that today, playing at home. I think he's able to get a win. I doubt I would play Leake in tournaments just because he doesn't really have much strikeout upside. But for cash games, you're only going to need for him to pitch about 5 to 6 innings and get a couple strikeouts. And I think he's going to be able to get a win, which is always good, get you those bonus points. I definitely like Mike Leake today to get 20 DraftKings points and return value. So if you need some value at pitcher, I do like him. I think he's worth targeting. And yeah, those are probably going to be the 4 pitchers that I look at on this slate. If you're going to pay up, I like Liriano, I like Wei-Yin Chen, and I like Zack Wheeler. And if you're looking for value at pitcher, I definitely like Mike Leake pitching at home against the Reds. I also think he is in play. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on to catcher. Alright, so some value plays I like at catcher. I really like Stephen Vogt today at just 3,800 going up against A.J. Griffin. Griffin is not a very good pitcher, and Vogt will be getting the platoon split advantage going up against a righty. I really like him today playing in Texas. Their ballpark does favor hitters. A lot of home runs are hit there in Texas. Now, I really like Vogt's price tag as well at just 3,800. If you need some value at catcher, I think he's a guy worth targeting. And also for 100 less, I really like Yadier Molina today going up against Amir Garrett. Garrett is not a very good pitcher, and Molina will be getting the platoon split advantage going up against a lefty. I really like him today if you need some value at catcher at just 3,700. Like I said, Garrett is not a very good pitcher. I definitely like Molina today. He has been playing very well this season. He has got off to a pretty hot start. And he did get that 3-year contract this year, so you know he's going to want to show out for the Cardinals. I really like Yadier Molina today. If you need some value catcher, I do think he is in play just 3,700. And one more value play that I like at catcher is Salvador Perez going up against Mike Fiers. Now Fiers is a pretty solid pitcher, but I'm really intrigued by Perez's price tag at just 3,400. That just seems way too cheap for him. And playing in Houston as well, that ballpark does favor hitters. I definitely like Perez today, especially if you're looking for a power bat at the catcher position. Perez can definitely bring that. He has a chance to go deep any night. And I definitely think he could do that today, going up against Fires and playing in Houston. I really like Salvador Perez as well if you need some value at catcher. I like that price tag at him at just $3,400. I definitely think he's in play with that price tag. And yeah, those are some value catchers that I like today. Let's go and move on to first base. Alright, some value first baseman that I like today. I'm really liking Greg Bird today, going up against Ubaldo Jimenez. Jimenez is a terrible pitcher. He has the chance to get rocked any night. And Greg Bird will be getting the platoon split advantage, going up against a righty. I really like him today if you need some value at first base at just $4K. Playing in Baltimore, that ballpark does favor hitters. A lot of home runs are hit there in Baltimore. I definitely like Greg Bird today if you're looking for value at first base. He definitely has a chance to take Ubaldo deep. Ubaldo does have the chance to get rocked any night, so I like him if you need some value. And I do also like Eric Hosmer at $3,900 going up against Mike Fiers. Hosmer just seems way too cheap, and he will also get the split advantage going up against a righty. I really like him as well if you need some value at first base. He should do very well today going up against the righty, and he just seems way too cheap with that price tag. I definitely think you can target Eric Hosmer if you're looking for value. And one more value play that I do like is Travis Shaw going up against Brett Anderson. Now, Shaw won't be getting a platoon split advantage. He will have to face a lefty. But Shaw has already shown this year that he can hit off righties and lefties. He's been batting cleanup lately for the Brewers. I really like him today as well at just $3,700. He has gotten off to a really hot start this year. And playing at Miller Park is always a huge upgrade for any batter. I definitely like Travis Shaw if you need some value at first base. Even though he's going up against a lefty, I still think he can do well today. He has already shown he can hit lefties well this year. I do like him if you need some value, just $3,700. With the way he's been playing this year, he's definitely worth that price tag. And yeah, those are some first basemen that I like for value. Let's go ahead and move on to second base. Alright, some value second baseman that I like. One guy I like at just $4,100 is Addison Russell going up against Jimmy Nelson. This is a huge park upgrade for the Cubs. They will be playing in Miller Park today, and you all know that park does favor hitters. A lot of home runs are hit there in Milwaukee. I really like Russell today at just $4,100. I definitely think he has a chance to take Jimmy Nelson deep. Nelson does give up a lot of hard contact. I definitely think if you want to stack the Cubs today, you should probably include Russell in that stack. I think the Cubs stack is going to be pretty popular. Jimmy Nelson does have the potential to get rocked, and I could see him getting rocked today. I really like Addison Russell, especially if you're going to stack the Cubs. I definitely think you should include him in that stack. And another guy that's catching my eyes just being too cheap is D. Gordon going up against Luke Wheeler. Now, like I mentioned at pitcher, Luke Wheeler is supposed to be pretty good. But I definitely think you can play Gordon at just $4K. He has a ton of upside with that price tag. You know if he gets on base, he's one of the fastest players in the league. He will steal anytime that he is on base. So I definitely like him at just $4K, especially for tournaments. Like I said, he just has a ton of upside. All he has to do is get a walk, and if he steals a couple bases, he's return value just like that. So I definitely like D. Gordon at just $4K. I think he's a pretty good value at that price tag. And another value play that I like at second base is WILMER Flores going up against Wei Chin. Since the Marlins are putting a lefty on the mound, Flores should be batting cleanup today. Anytime an opponent throws out a lefty, the Mets will usually put Flores in the cleanup spot. And if he is in the starting lineup and batting cleanup, you can definitely target him today at just $3,300. He does hit lefties very well. And Flores does have some power as well. He definitely has a chance to go deep today. I definitely like him if you need some value at second base. At just $3,300, he's a guy worth targeting. He should be batting cleanup today since the Marlins are throwing out a lefty. So I like WILMER Flores if you need some value at second base. And yeah, those are some value plays that I like at second base. Let's go and move on to third base. Alright, some value third baseman that I like. One guy I like is Jake Lamb going up against Josh Tomlin. Tomlin does have the potential to get rocked. He is not a very good pitcher. And Jake Lamb will also be getting a platoon split advantage going up against a righty. I really like Lamb today playing at home in Arizona. A lot of home runs are hit there in Chase Field. I definitely think you can target Jake Lamb today at third base if you need some value. Just $4,200. I really like that price tag for him. I could definitely see him going deep today against Tomlin. Like I said, Tomlin's not a good pitcher, so I do like Jake Lamb at just $4,200. I think he's in play for value. Another value play I like is Kyle Seager going up against Jesse Chavez. Chavez is also not a good pitcher, and Kyle Seager will be getting a split advantage going up against a righty. This isn't a great park for hitters. The LA ballpark doesn't really favor hitters. Not very many home runs are hit there. But I definitely think you can target Seager at that price tag. $3,900 just seems way too cheap for him. And going up against Chavez, I really like him in this matchup. Chavez is not a good pitcher, like I mentioned. So if you need some value at third base, I definitely think you can target Kyle Seager with that price tag. Last year, his price was close to $5K, so he's just way too cheap. I like him at just $3,900. I definitely think he is in play. And another guy that just seems too cheap is Mike Moustakas going up against Mike Fiers. I really like Moustakas' price tag at just 3,200. That is dirt cheap for him. And in this matchup as well, playing in Houston, I definitely like Moustakas today. He will get the split advantage going up against the righty. And Houston's ballpark does favor hitters. A lot of home runs are hit there in Houston. And Moustakas does have a ton of power as well. He's already shown off his power this year, going deep already. I definitely think he has another chance to hit a home run today against Fires. So I definitely think you can target Mike Moustakas as well if you need some value at third base. 3,200 just seems way too cheap for him. So I like him as well if you need some value. And yeah, those are some value plays that I like at third base. Let's go ahead and move on to shortstop. Alright, some shortstops that I like today. I really like Aledmys Diaz going up against Amir Garrett. Now I know Diaz isn't much of a value at 4,300, but there really isn't much value at shortstop just from looking at it. But I do like Diaz in this matchup going up against the lefty. He will get the split advantage. And that price tag just seems way too cheap for Diaz. Last year his price was upwards of 5K, so I definitely think you can target him at that price. So I do like him if you need somewhat of a value at shortstop. He just seems way too cheap at 4,300. You can definitely target him. Another guy I like for a little bit cheaper is STARLIN Castro going up against Ubaldo Jimenez. Now, like I already mentioned, Jimenez does have the potential to get rocked, and I could definitely see him getting rocked today. An under-the-radar stack that I like today is the Yankees. They probably won't be very heavily owned just because they're the Yankees and they're not very popular. But Jimenez did get rocked a ton last year, and he could definitely struggle today. I really like STARLIN Castro playing in Baltimore. Their ballpark does favor hitters. A lot of home runs are hit there in Baltimore. And even at 4,100, I definitely think you can target Castro on this slate. He does have a lot of home run potential. And going up against Jimenez, Jimenez does give up a lot of homers. So I definitely like STARLIN Castro, even at 4,100. I think he's in play with that price and given the matchup against Jimenez. So I do like him. And another guy I like for a little bit cheaper that's just catching my eye as being too cheap is Troy Tulowitzki going up against Matt Andriese. I know Tulo hasn't been playing very well this year, but he just seems way too cheap at 3,800. He's bound to break out of this slump eventually, and he could definitely do that today going up against the lefty. Tulo will be getting the split advantage. If you need some shortstop value, I would definitely target him with that cheap price tag. Even though they are playing in Tampa and that ballpark doesn't really favor hitters, I still like Tulo at that price. I could definitely see him breaking out of his slump today against Andriese. Andriese is not a very good pitcher, so I do like Tulo if you need some shortstop value. Just 3,800, he is definitely worth targeting at that price. And yeah, those are some shortstops that I like today. Let's go and move on to outfield. Alright, some outfield value plays that I like. I'm really liking Billy Hamilton today at just 4K. You know Hamilton's one of the fastest players in the league. Anytime that he gets on base, he's going to try and steal. So all he has to do is pretty much get walked and steal a couple bases, and he's return value. So I really like Hamilton today with that price tag. And going up against the righty, Hamilton does bat a lot better from his left side. So I really like him if you need some value at outfield. He just seems way too cheap at just 4K. He does have 15 to 20 point DraftKings upside. He just steals bases any times that he gets on. So I really like Billy Hamilton. If you need some value at outfield, he would be a guy to target with that cheap price tag. Another value outfielder that I like today is Alex Gordon going up against Mike Fiers. Gordon just seems way too cheap today at 3,700. He does bat leadoff for the Royals, and he will also be getting the split advantage against Fiers. Fiers is a righty, and Gordon does bat left-handed. And the Royals will also be playing in an upgraded park. They will be playing in Houston today, and Houston's park does favor hitters. I really like Gordon today if you need some value at 3,700. Since he bats leadoff, he should get at least 4, maybe 5 at-bats today. And Gordon does have some power for a leadoff hitter, so I definitely think you can target him with that cheap price tag. I really do like the Royals today. I think they're going to be a little sneaky stack that you can target on the slate. A lot of their players just seem way too cheap, so I do like Alex Gordon for 3,700. I think he's a pretty good outfield value play today. And another cheap value play that I'm liking at just 3K is Matt Joyce going up against AJ Griffin. Since the Rangers are going to be throwing out a righty, Joyce should be in the starting lineup today since the Rangers are going to be throwing out a right-hander, and Joyce does bat left, so that's going to be a split advantage for him. And he does also bat towards the top of the lineup, which is also a plus. Anytime you get a guy towards the top of the lineup, they just have a better chance to get more at-bats. And I also like Joyce today getting the park upgrade, playing in Texas. The Rangers ballpark does favor hitters. A lot of home runs are hit there in Texas. And I also like this matchup for Joyce going up against AJ Griffin. AJ Griffin does give up a ton of home runs, and Joyce does have a little bit of power in him. So I definitely think you can target him today at just 3K. He should be in the starting lineup since the Rangers are going to be putting a right-hander on the mound. You can definitely target him at just 3K for value. He should be in the starting lineup, like I said, and he does bat towards the top of the order. So I definitely like Matt Joyce today at just 3K for some value. He's definitely going to be a guy I target going up against AJ Griffin. I definitely think he has a chance to go deep today. And yeah, those are some value plays that I like at outfield. Go ahead and give you guys some of my favorite plays tonight. Alright guys, so this is my favorite pitcher tonight, along with some of my favorite value hitters. I did fill out half of the lineup for you guys. If you want to get the other half, then follow me on Twitter and DM me on Twitter, and I will get you a lineup for FanDuel, Yahoo, or DraftKings, whatever site you play on. You can get my lineups for $5 for a day, or you can get a week of lineups for $25. So if you're interested in that, then follow me on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT and DM me there, and I'll get you a lineup. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed. I upload these videos every day, so if this is your first time on my channel, please be sure to subscribe and cut on notifications. Just click the bell icon next to my YouTube name, and you'll get notified every time I upload. So if you never want to miss out on a video, then please be sure to do that. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys.
I'm sipping on Bel Air, my chick from Bel Air, my whip from Germany, I'm cooler than LL. I'm sipping on Bel Air, my chick from Bel Air, my whip from Germany, I'm cooler than LL. I clap my nigga like pancake, I clap